all of us from time to time, when we go home, can have run-ins with family members or siblings or our children, and we just appreciate that they are nothing like us. And there's a book by Florence Littau called Personality Plus that puts such a wonderful spin on this. And different to disc profiling, which was very much set up in a corporate sense, Personality Plus is the perfect book for social and family dynamics. And it helps you to understand that those 4 types that we talk about in DISC are slightly different here, because it helps you to understand that when they first looked at the blood types or what happened in people's bodies during war, was that we're all different. Choleric people tended to have a different reaction and response to stress than someone who is phlegmatic versus someone who is melancholy and someone who is sanguine. And so these profiles that Florence Littau talks about in the books that she's written are really forefront in helping personal relationships on the home front as you're going through your coaching process. And so for me, even though I'm a dominant influencer when it comes to my business, I'm a sanguine choleric. And sanguines like to have fun. If it ain't fun, I'm not doing it, okay? So it needs to be set up to be fun and give me energy, but I like to be in charge, okay? So a choleric likes to be in charge. I'm married, however, to Kent, who's also an influencer, but he's a melancholy phlegmatic, the total opposite to me in personality. And we can tell that by at home how he stacks the dishwasher versus how I stack the dishwasher. How he folds the washing versus how I fold the washing. It both gets done, but his looks a little bit neater and more precise, let's put it that way. And so for years and years, he's tried to educate me on the best way to do things. What's the best way to leave the car when I finish the car isn't to have the radio up to 19 or 20 when he puts the keys in, but always to put the volume back down to 2. Just so that whoever's taking the car next time, can appreciate that. And I think if you've married a melancholy that is perfect, then, you'll appreciate the fact that, they have very different moods than somebody who's sanguine. Someone who's sanguine can be happy one second and depressed the next, whereas someone who's melancholy, being that perfectionist, likes a process and they have a much slower rhythm and cycle. A phlegmatic, on the other hand, could sit and watch TV all day, every day. And when we first got married and Kent would sit on the couch and watch motor racing for 5 or 6 hours, I was amazed that he could hold his concentration that long by doing absolutely nothing. And it always interested me how we were so very, very different. So Florence Littau's works are fabulous. I find anybody who's melancholy should definitely get hold of some of the other books. She too was married to someone who was melancholy, and he had slight depression, and she talks about what it's like to be living with someone who is depressed and how to cope with that. And certainly we've had a lot of clients that have got huge amounts of value from reading this material, and a lot of laughs as well. And so the Personality Plus profile is much more, effective in the home environment, and I definitely encourage grabbing hold of that test and that book and having a look at doing it for each other. When you fill in the results on the test for your spouse and seeing how close it is to how they see themselves be, and that creates a fun environment too.